In the year 2147, humanity had finally achieved what was once thought impossible: interstellar travel. The Starship Horizon, an advanced vessel equipped with the latest technology, was on a mission to explore and establish contact with intelligent life forms across the galaxy. Leading the mission was Captain Ethan Thompson, a seasoned astronaut known for his bravery and intellect. Their destination was Xenoria, a newly discovered planet located in the Zeta Reticuli system. From preliminary scans, Xenoria appeared to be a vibrant world, teeming with life and possessing an atmosphere similar to Earth's. The mission was simple: make peaceful contact and gather information about Xenorian civilization. Upon landing, the crew of the Horizon was awestruck by the planet's beauty. Xenoria's landscape was a mesmerizing blend of alien flora and fauna, with bioluminescent plants casting a gentle glow over the landscape. The sky was painted in shades of violet and turquoise, with two suns setting in the horizon, creating a surreal twilight. Ethan decided to venture out alone for a preliminary survey, armed with a translation device and basic equipment. As he navigated through the dense, glowing forest, he felt a strange sense of calm, as if the planet itself was welcoming him. The air was filled with the sweet fragrance of unknown flowers, and the ground beneath his feet seemed to hum with energy. Suddenly, Ethan's attention was caught by a movement in the foliage. He cautiously approached and found himself face to face with an astonishing creature. Standing before him was Alara, a Xenorian girl. Her appearance was ethereal, with skin that shimmered in an iridescent array of colors, reflecting the surroundings. Her eyes, large and expressive, were the color of the deepest oceans, filled with curiosity and wisdom. Ethan raised his hands in a gesture of peace, and to his relief, Alara responded with a similar gesture. Using his translation device, he attempted to communicate. "Hello, I come in peace. My name is Ethan," he said, his voice steady despite the racing of his heart. Alara tilted her head slightly, her eyes never leaving his. The device translated her response, a melodious voice speaking through it. "Welcome, Ethan. I am Alara of Xenoria. Why have you come to our world?" Ethan explained their mission, emphasizing their peaceful intentions and their desire to learn about Xenorian culture. As they conversed, he couldn't help but be drawn to her grace and the serene confidence she exuded. Despite the vast differences between them, there was an undeniable connection. Alara, intrigued by the human's sincerity and courage, decided to show him more of her world. She led him through the forest to a hidden clearing, where a crystal-clear lake mirrored the twin suns' fading light. They sat by the water's edge, exchanging stories about their worlds. Alara spoke of Xenoria's history, its traditions, and its people, while Ethan shared tales of Earth's wonders and humanity's quest for knowledge. Hours passed like minutes, and as night fell, the sky above them exploded into a canvas of stars, far more vivid than any night sky Ethan had ever seen on Earth. Among the stars, bioluminescent creatures danced in the air, casting a magical glow over the scene. Their conversation flowed effortlessly, and with each word, their bond grew stronger. Ethan found himself captivated not just by Alara's beauty, but by her intelligence and compassion. She, in turn, was fascinated by his bravery and the depth of his emotions. As the night deepened, they realized that their encounter was the beginning of something extraordinary. Despite the differences in their origins, they felt a profound connection that transcended space and time. They parted reluctantly, promising to meet again, their hearts already entwined in a love that would challenge the boundaries of their worlds. The days following their initial encounter were filled with anticipation and longing for both Ethan and Alara. Ethan continued his official duties with the Horizon crew, conducting surveys and gathering data, but his thoughts were constantly with Alara. He found excuses to explore the forest alone, each time hoping to see her again. Meanwhile, Alara's mind was equally occupied with thoughts of Ethan. She was torn between her duty to her people and the growing affection she felt for the human astronaut. Her heart ached with a longing she had never experienced before, and she couldn't help but wonder if their love could ever be accepted by her people. Their secret meetings became more frequent, always under the cover of the bioluminescent foliage that provided a natural cloak of privacy. Each encounter deepened their bond, and they shared more intimate details of their lives. Ethan learned about Alara's family, her dreams, and her fears. Alara, in turn, discovered Ethan's past, his hopes for humanity, and his passion for exploration. One evening, as they sat by the lake where they first met, Alara revealed a hidden cave adorned with ancient Xenorian carvings. The walls of the cave told stories of Xenoria's history, its mythology, and its deep connection with the stars. As they explored the cave, Alara explained the significance of each carving, her voice filled with reverence and pride. "This cave is sacred to my people," she said, tracing her fingers along a particularly intricate design. "It tells the story of our origins and our belief that we are connected to all life in the universe. Meeting you feels like the fulfillment of these ancient prophecies." Ethan was moved by the depth of Alara's culture and the beauty of her world. "It's incredible," he said, his voice filled with awe. "Your people's connection to the universe is something we've always dreamed of on Earth. I feel honored to be here with you." Their moments of bliss were overshadowed by the growing tension between their worlds. The Xenorian Council, wary of the human presence, increased their surveillance, fearing that the Earthlings had ulterior motives. Similarly, the Horizon crew grew suspicious of Ethan's solo excursions, worried that he might be endangering their mission. One night, as Ethan and Alara sat by the lake, they heard the distant sound of approaching Xenorian scouts. Panic surged through them, and they knew they had to hide. Alara led Ethan deeper into the forest, to a secluded glade known only to her. There, they waited in silence, their hearts pounding in unison. The scouts passed by without discovering them, but the close call left them shaken. "We can't keep meeting like this," Alara said, her voice trembling with fear. "If we're discovered, it could mean war between our people." Ethan reached out, taking her hand in his. "I know," he said softly, "but I can't bear the thought of losing you. There has to be a way for us to be together." Their dilemma weighed heavily on them, knowing that their love was forbidden and that the consequences of discovery could be catastrophic. Yet, they couldn't deny their feelings for each other. They made a pact to find a solution, to bridge the gap between their worlds and prove that love could conquer fear and prejudice. In the following days, their meetings became more clandestine, each encounter a stolen moment of joy amidst the looming threat. They shared their fears and hopes, drawing strength from each other. Ethan began secretly documenting his interactions with Alara, gathering evidence to present to his superiors, hoping to convince them that peace and cooperation were possible. Alara, on the other hand, sought allies within her own people. She confided in her closest friend, Leora, who was initially skeptical but eventually agreed to help, moved by Alara's sincerity and the purity of their love. Together, they began to devise a plan to reveal their relationship to the Council in a way that would highlight the potential for unity between their species. Their love, though forbidden, became a beacon of hope, a fragile flame in the darkness of uncertainty. They knew the road ahead would be fraught with challenges, but they were determined to fight for their love and for the possibility of a peaceful coexistence between Earth and Xenoria. As they parted after another secret meeting, Ethan held Alara close, whispering words of reassurance. "We'll find a way, Alara. I promise you, we'll make them see that our love is not a threat, but a promise of a better future." Alara nodded, her eyes brimming with determination and love. "I believe in us, Ethan. No matter what happens, our love will light the way." With that, they went their separate ways, their hearts united in a common purpose. The forbidden love between a human and a Xenorian had set in motion events that would change the course of their worlds forever. As the weeks passed, the tension between Earth and Xenoria grew palpable. The Horizon's crew had become increasingly suspicious of Ethan's absences, and whispers of his secret meetings with an alien began to circulate. Meanwhile, the Xenorian Council's distrust of the humans had reached its peak, and they intensified their surveillance, convinced that the Earthlings harbored ulterior motives. Ethan and Alara, aware of the rising dangers, continued their secret meetings with heightened caution. Each encounter felt like a stolen moment in time, a precious interlude in a world that seemed determined to keep them apart. They knew they were living on borrowed time, and the inevitable discovery loomed like a dark cloud over their heads. One evening, as the twin suns dipped below the horizon, Ethan and Alara met in a secluded glade hidden deep within the forest. The air was thick with the scent of alien flowers, and the bioluminescent plants cast an ethereal glow around them. They sat close together, their hands entwined, sharing a quiet moment of solace. "We can't keep this up much longer," Ethan said, his voice heavy with worry. "The crew is getting suspicious, and I've seen more Xenorian scouts patrolling the area." Alara nodded, her expression mirroring his concern. "I know. My people are growing restless. They fear the unknown, and our relationship is something they can't understand." They sat in silence for a moment, the weight of their situation pressing down on them. Then, with a determined glint in his eyes, Ethan spoke. "We need to act. We can't let fear dictate our lives. We have to show them that our love is real and that peace between our worlds is possible." Alara squeezed his hand, her resolve matching his. "Leora and I have been working on a plan. We believe that if we can present our relationship to the Council in the right way, they might see things differently. But we need your crew's support as well." Ethan nodded. "I'll talk to Captain Reynolds. He's a reasonable man, and if I can show him how important this is, he might listen." Their plans set in motion, Ethan and Alara parted ways, each heading back to their respective worlds with a newfound sense of purpose. Ethan knew convincing his crew would be challenging, but he was determined to try. He returned to the horizon and requested a private meeting with Captain Reynolds. In the captain's quarters, Ethan laid out everything: their secret meetings, the connection he and Alara shared, and the potential for peace between their species. Captain Reynolds listened intently, his expression unreadable. When Ethan finished, the captain leaned back in his chair, deep in thought. "You've put us in a difficult position, Ethan," Reynolds said finally. "You've broken protocol and jeopardized our mission. But," he continued, raising a hand to forestall Ethan's protest, "I can see that your intentions were noble. If there's even a chance that this relationship can lead to peace, we have to consider it." Relief washed over Ethan. "Thank you, sir. I promise you, Alara and I will do everything we can to make this work." With Captain Reynolds' tentative support, Ethan felt a glimmer of hope. The next step was presenting their case to the Xenorian Council. Alara, with Leora's help, had been preparing for this moment. They had gathered evidence of Ethan's sincerity and the potential benefits of a peaceful alliance between their worlds. The day of the meeting arrived. Ethan, accompanied by Captain Reynolds and a small delegation from the horizon, made their way to the Xenorian Council chamber. A grand hall carved into the heart of a mountain, adorned with ancient symbols and illuminated by the planet's natural bioluminescence. Alara stood beside Leora, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and determination. As the humans entered the chamber, the council members, their expressions stern and suspicious, turned their attention to the newcomers. Ethan stepped forward, taking a deep breath before he began. "Honorable members of the council, my name is Ethan Thompson. I stand before you today not as an invader, but as a man who has come to know and love one of your own. Alara and I believe that through understanding and cooperation, our worlds can achieve something extraordinary." He spoke passionately, recounting his experiences with Alara, the connection they shared, and the potential for unity between their species. As he spoke, Alara's eyes met his, filled with unwavering support and love. The council listened in silence, their expressions unreadable. When Ethan finished, Alara stepped forward, her voice clear and resolute. "Ethan speaks the truth. Our relationship is built on trust and mutual respect. We believe that through our love, we can show both our peoples that fear and mistrust can be overcome." For a moment, the chamber was silent. Then one of the elder council members spoke. "Your words are compelling, but actions speak louder than words. How can we be sure that this relationship is not a ploy, a way for the humans to gain our trust and then betray us?" Before Ethan or Alara could respond, Leora stepped forward. "I have known Alara all my life. She has always been guided by her heart and her wisdom. If she believes in this human and in the possibility of peace, then I believe we should give them a chance." The council deliberated, their discussion heated and intense. Finally, the chief elder raised his hand for silence. "We will allow this relationship to continue, but under strict supervision. We will monitor their interactions and any developments. If there is any sign of deceit, the consequences will be severe." It was not the full acceptance they had hoped for, but it was a start. Ethan and Alara exchanged a hopeful glance, their hearts lifted by the small victory. They knew the road ahead would be difficult, but they were ready to face it together. As they left the council chamber, Ethan felt a surge of determination. They had taken the first step towards proving that love could indeed bridge the gap between their worlds. Now they had to build on that foundation, showing through their actions that a peaceful coexistence was not just a dream, but a tangible reality. Their journey was far from over, but with each other by their side and the tentative support of their leaders, they felt ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Their love, though born in secrecy and surrounded by conflict, had the power to change the course of history. The decision of the Xenorian Council to allow Ethan and Alara's relationship to continue under strict supervision provided a glimmer of hope, but it also brought new challenges. The pressure was immense. Every word and action was scrutinized by both the Xenorian authorities and the Horizon crew. The initial joy of their small victory was quickly overshadowed by the constant surveillance and the ever-present threat of war. Days turned into a tense blur as Ethan and Alara navigated their new reality. They continued to meet, but always under the watchful eyes of guards and monitors. Their conversations, once filled with carefree laughter and dreams, became more cautious and coded, each word chosen carefully to avoid suspicion. Despite the scrutiny, their bond only grew stronger. The shared adversity forged a deeper connection, a silent understanding that transcended words. Yet, they knew that their love alone might not be enough to convince their worlds. They needed to do something drastic to prove their intentions and pave the way for peace. One evening, as the twin suns set, painting the sky in hues of pink and orange, Ethan and Alara met in their usual spot by the crystal-clear lake. The serene beauty of the place felt like a cruel contrast to the tension that gripped their hearts. "We can't keep going like this, Ethan," Alara said, her voice barely above a whisper. "The council's patience is wearing thin, and I fear the humans might act out of mistrust." Ethan nodded, his expression grim. "I've been thinking the same. We need to do something that forces them to see the potential for peace. We need a grand gesture, something they can't ignore." Alara's eyes widened as she understood what he meant. "The ancient artifact," she whispered. "The one in the Valley of Unity. It's said to have been left by a civilization older than ours, a beacon of peace and understanding." Ethan's heart raced. They had spoken of the artifact before, a relic of an ancient, wise civilization believed to have achieved a higher state of consciousness and unity. If they could activate it, its message of peace might be powerful enough to sway both their people. "But the valley is forbidden," Alara continued, her voice filled with both awe and fear. "It's sacred ground, and entering it is seen as an act of defiance." Ethan squeezed her hand, his resolve unwavering. "Then we defy them. It's our best chance to show them that our love is more than just an anomaly. It's a beacon of hope." They spent the next few days meticulously planning their escape. Alara managed to convince Leora to help them, knowing that her friend's loyalty and resourcefulness would be invaluable. On the horizon, Ethan confided in Captain Reynolds, who, despite his reservations, agreed to provide covert assistance. He understood that the potential reward far outweighed the risk. On the night of their planned escape, the atmosphere was electric with tension. The twin moons cast a pale light over the landscape, and the air was thick with anticipation. Leora had arranged for a distraction within the Xenorian camp, creating a window of opportunity for Ethan and Alara to slip away unnoticed. As the distraction unfolded, Ethan and Alara made their move. They navigated the dense forest with practiced ease, their steps quick and silent. The path to the Valley of Unity was fraught with dangers, both natural and man-made. They encountered treacherous terrain, wild creatures, and the constant threat of being discovered. Hours later, exhausted but determined, they reached the entrance to the valley. It was a breathtaking sight, a hidden sanctuary surrounded by towering cliffs and lush vegetation. The air was filled with a sense of ancient power, and the ground beneath their feet seemed to hum with energy. In the center of the valley stood the artifact, a massive, crystalline structure that pulsed with an inner light. Its surface was etched with symbols and runes that seemed to glow in response to their presence. Ethan and Alara approached it with reverence, their hands intertwined. "This is it," Alara whispered, her voice filled with awe. "The beacon of peace." Ethan nodded, his heart pounding. "Let's do this together." They placed their hands on the artifact, and a surge of energy flowed through them. The crystalline structure began to glow brighter, emitting a soft, melodic hum that resonated through the valley. The light intensified, forming a column that shot up into the sky, visible for miles around. Back in the Xenorian settlement and aboard the Horizon, alarms blared as the anomaly was detected. Both sides watched in astonishment as the column of light pierced the heavens, its message clear and undeniable. The artifact projected a series of images and symbols into the sky, telling the story of an ancient civilization that had achieved peace through understanding and unity. It showed the potential for greatness that could be achieved when different worlds came together, emphasizing that love and cooperation were the keys to a brighter future. As the message played out, Ethan and Alara stood hand in hand, their faces illuminated by the radiant light. They felt a profound sense of connection, not just to each other, but to the ancient wisdom that transcended time and space. The reaction was immediate. The Xenorian Council, awed by the display, called an emergency meeting to discuss the implications. On the Horizon, Captain Reynolds rallied his crew, emphasizing the importance of the artifact's message and urging them to consider the possibilities it represented. After hours of deliberation, a tentative agreement was reached. The Xenorian Council and the Horizon's leadership agreed to meet in the Valley of Unity, under the watchful gaze of the ancient artifact, to discuss a path forward. Ethan and Alara's daring act had forced their worlds to confront their prejudices and fears. It was the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with hope and the promise of a better future. As they stood together in the valley, watching their leaders approach with cautious optimism, Ethan squeezed Alara's hand. "We did it," he whispered, his voice filled with emotion. "We gave them a reason to believe." Alara smiled, her eyes shining with tears of joy. "This is just the beginning, Ethan. Together we can change the course of history." And so, under the light of the ancient artifact and the watchful gaze of the stars, the first steps towards unity and peace were taken. Ethan and Alara's love had not only survived the trials they faced, but had also become a beacon of hope for both their worlds. The ancient artifact's activation had sent shockwaves through both worlds. The awe-inspiring display of light and the powerful message it conveyed forced the leaders of Earth and Xenoria to reconsider their stances. Both sides realized the potential for peace and cooperation, driven by the compelling evidence of Ethan and Alara's love and the artifact's ancient wisdom. The following days were a flurry of activity as both the Horizon crew and the Xenorian Council prepared for the historic meeting in the Valley of Unity. This was a delicate time, fraught with the potential for misunderstanding and conflict, but also brimming with hope. On the day of the meeting, the Valley of Unity was transformed into a neutral ground for negotiations. Xenorian scouts and human security teams worked together to ensure the safety of all participants. The atmosphere was tense but charged with anticipation. This was a momentous occasion, and everyone knew it. Ethan and Alara stood at the edge of the valley, watching as the leaders from both sides arrived. Captain Reynolds, representing the Earth delegation, was accompanied by a small team of diplomats and scientists. The Xenorian Council, led by the Chief Elder, arrived with their own entourage, including priests and advisors. The ancient artifact stood as a silent witness to the proceedings, its crystalline structure glowing softly. As the delegations took their places, Ethan and Alara stepped forward, hand in hand. Their presence was a living testament to the possibility of unity. They were the bridge between their worlds, and their courage had brought everyone to this pivotal moment. Captain Reynolds began the proceedings with a speech that acknowledged the bravery of Ethan and Alara and the significance of the artifact. We stand here today, brought together by the love of two individuals who saw beyond the differences that divide us. The message of the artifact is clear. Through understanding and cooperation, we can achieve a greater future for both our peoples. The chief elder of the Xenorian Council responded, her voice filled with solemnity. The artifact is a symbol of our ancestors' wisdom, a reminder that peace is possible if we open our hearts and minds. Ethan and Alara have shown us that love can transcend the boundaries of our worlds. It is our duty to honor their courage and work towards a harmonious future. The negotiations that followed were complex and challenging. Both sides had valid concerns and fears. The Xenorians were protective of their world and wary of human intentions. The humans, on the other hand, were eager to explore and learn but needed to assure the Xenorians of their peaceful intentions. Ethan and Alara played a crucial role in these discussions. Their first-hand experiences and deep understanding of both cultures provided invaluable insights. They shared their story, highlighting the common values and dreams that united their peoples. Their love was the proof that cooperation was not only possible but desirable. The turning point came when they proposed a series of collaborative projects that would benefit both worlds. They suggested joint scientific research, cultural exchanges, and mutual aid initiatives. These projects would foster understanding and trust, paving the way for deeper cooperation. One of the key proposals was the establishment of a shared research outpost in the Valley of Unity. This outpost would be a symbol of their commitment to peace and cooperation, a place where scientists, scholars, and diplomats from both worlds could work together on common goals. The outpost would also serve as a cultural exchange center, allowing humans and Xenorians to learn from each other's traditions, languages, and histories. The negotiations stretched late into the night. There were moments of heated debate and tension, but also moments of profound understanding and agreement. Both sides were committed to finding a way forward, and the presence of the artifact and the courage of Ethan and Alara served as constant reminders of what was at stake. Finally, after hours of discussion, an agreement was reached. The leaders of Earth and Xenoria signed a historic treaty, pledging to work together for the mutual benefit of their worlds. The treaty outlined the terms of their cooperation, including the establishment of the shared research outpost and the initiation of various joint projects. As the treaty was signed, a sense of relief and jubilation swept through the valley. The impossible had been achieved. Two worlds, once divided by fear and mistrust, had come together in the spirit of cooperation and understanding. Ethan and Alara stood at the center of the celebration, their hearts filled with joy and hope. They had faced countless challenges and dangers, but their love had triumphed. They had not only found a way to be together, but had also paved the way for a brighter future for their worlds. In the days that followed, the Valley of Unity buzzed with activity as preparations for the new outpost began. Scientists and engineers from both worlds worked side by side, their collaboration a testament to the power of unity. Cultural ambassadors shared stories, music, and traditions, bridging the gap between their peoples. Ethan and Alara, now recognized as heroes, continued to play a vital role in fostering this newfound cooperation. They served as liaisons between the two worlds, their unique perspectives helping to navigate the complexities of this new relationship. Their love story became a symbol of hope, inspiring others to look beyond their differences and embrace the possibility of a united future. As they stood together, watching the construction of the research outpost, Ethan turned to Alara, his eyes filled with gratitude and love. "We did it, Alara. We've changed the course of history." Alara smiled, her eyes reflecting the light of the twin suns. "Yes, Ethan, this is just the beginning. Together, we will continue to build a future where love and understanding guide our worlds." And so, under the watchful gaze of the ancient artifact and the stars above, Ethan and Alara's love story continued to shine brightly, a beacon of hope and unity for all. With the signing of the historic treaty, a new era of peace and cooperation began between Earth and Xenoria. The shared research outpost in the Valley of Unity became a bustling hub of activity, symbolizing the unity and collaboration between the two worlds. The success of the joint projects and cultural exchanges strengthened the bond between humans and Xenorians, turning a once fragile alliance into a thriving partnership. Ethan and Alara, hailed as heroes on both planets, continued to play a crucial role in fostering this relationship. Their love story had inspired countless others, becoming a beacon of hope and a testament to the power of understanding and unity. They were frequently invited to speak at events and ceremonies, sharing their experiences and advocating for continued cooperation. The research outpost quickly became a center for scientific discovery and cultural exchange. Scientists from both worlds worked together on projects that advanced their understanding of the universe and improved the quality of life on both planets. They studied the unique flora and fauna of Xenoria, developing new medicines and technologies that benefited both species. Cultural ambassadors shared their traditions, music, and art, enriching the lives of everyone involved. One of the most significant achievements was the development of a universal translator, a device that allowed seamless communication between humans and Xenorians. This breakthrough eliminated language barriers, making it easier for people from both worlds to connect and collaborate. The outpost also hosted regular cultural festivals, where humans and Xenorians celebrated their unique heritages and learned from each other. Ethan and Alara's personal lives flourished as well. They decided to make Xenoria their home, choosing to live in a beautiful house near the Valley of Unity. Their home was a blend of Earth and Xenorian design, symbolizing the harmony between their worlds. They often spent their evenings by the crystal-clear lake where they had first met, reflecting on their journey and planning their future. Their love story continued to grow, and soon they welcomed the birth of their first child, a beautiful baby girl named Lyra. Lyra was a symbol of the union between Earth and Xenoria, her existence proof that love could bridge even the greatest of divides. She inherited the best qualities of both her parents, Ethan's curiosity and bravery, and Alara's wisdom and grace. As Lyra grew, she became a living testament to the success of the alliance. She was equally comfortable in both worlds, embodying the values of unity and cooperation that her parents had fought so hard to achieve. She played with children from both species, learning their languages and traditions, and forging friendships that would further solidify the bond between Earth and Xenoria. Ethan and Alara continued their work, dedicating their lives to ensuring the lasting peace and prosperity of their worlds. They took on mentorship roles at the research outpost, guiding the next generation of scientists and diplomats. Their story was taught in schools on both planets, inspiring young minds to pursue knowledge and understanding. One day, as they walked hand in hand through the Valley of Unity, Ethan and Alara paused to admire the progress that had been made. The outpost was bustling with activity, the air filled with the sounds of laughter and collaboration. The ancient artifact, still standing tall and glowing softly, served as a constant reminder of the wisdom of their ancestors and the power of unity. Ethan turned to Alara, his eyes filled with love and pride. "We've come so far, Alara. I can hardly believe it sometimes. Our love started all of this." Alara smiled, her eyes reflecting the light of the artifact. "Yes, Ethan. We dared to dream, and together we made that dream a reality. Our love was the catalyst, but it's the dedication and hard work of everyone here that have made it possible." They stood in silence for a moment, taking in the beauty of the valley and the significance of their journey. Ethan then knelt down to pick a glowing Xenorian flower, handing it to Alara with a tender smile. "To our future, Alara. To a world where our daughter can grow up knowing that anything is possible." Alara took the flower, her eyes brimming with tears of happiness. "To our future, Ethan. To a world where love and unity prevail." As the years passed, the legacy of Ethan and Alara's love continued to shape the destinies of Earth and Xenoria. The research outpost grew into a thriving city, a beacon of hope and progress in the galaxy. The cultural and scientific exchanges led to advancements that benefited all of humanity and Xenorian kind, fostering an era of unprecedented prosperity and peace. Lyra, inspired by her parents' example, grew up to become a leader in her own right. She worked tirelessly to build on their legacy, leading efforts to expand the alliance to other worlds and species. Her name became synonymous with diplomacy and unity, and under her guidance, the alliance flourished even further. Ethan and Alara, now elders respected and revered by both species, watched with pride as their daughter carried forward their dream. They spent their days teaching, sharing their wisdom, and enjoying the simple pleasures of life. Their love, which had once seemed an impossible dream, had become the foundation of a new, united future. As they sat together one evening, watching the twin suns set over the Valley of Unity, Ethan took Alara's hand in his heart filled with gratitude and love. "We've had an incredible journey, Alara. I wouldn't change a single moment." Alara leaned her head against his shoulder, her eyes fixed on the horizon. "Neither would I, Ethan. Our love has changed the world, and it will continue to do so for generations to come." And so, under the watchful gaze of the stars and the ancient artifact, Ethan and Alara's love story came full circle. Their journey, filled with challenges and triumphs, had not only brought two worlds together, but had also created a legacy of hope, unity, and endless possibilities. Their love had indeed become a beacon of light in the universe, guiding future generations towards a brighter, more harmonious future.